And I also just did a knee surgery last Friday. And it's pretty inconvenient, so I don't know how I'm gonna make this work, but I want to make this work. And I'm a little bit nervous doing this for YouTube. Just feels kind of vulnerable to put myself out there. Yeah. Okay. Ouch, fuck. Okay, and testing this with my windows open, very bright sunlight. I think I might like this better. Okay, so here we go. I just wanted to share my life, and I really want to post this before my 25th birthday, just as a birthday present for myself. So, I am turning 25, and I just want to share briefly about my life, really in summary, that I just hope that I can inspire people with the choices I've made to lead an alternative life. It's kind of scary. Okay. So at 16, I thought that I had my life all figured out, but here I am at 25, having taken a completely different path. I changed my major. I skipped the 9 to 5. Not skip, I hate it. I solo traveled a bit, and now I'm running my own ceramics business. And this is my journey so far. I think most of us in Asia, maybe in Singapore only, or maybe the whole world, grew up thinking that there is a right way to live. Study hard, get a good degree, land a stable job, and start a family. And I totally can understand why it makes sense, because it made sense for so many people. Which is why many people want to continue on this path. But along the way, I just realized that what I wanted didn't quite fit into this structure, because there's just so much more possibilities in this life. So I made a series of choices that completely changed my direction. Some were exciting, some were scary, and most of the time, I had no idea if I was doing the right thing. And there is no right or wrong thing, just saying. But looking back, every decision led me here. If you have ever questioned the path that you're on, maybe this story will give you something to think about. Growing up, I was a pretty good kid. I was the kind of student who would plan ahead. Since I was 15, I started working part-time to pay for my tuition fees. And then at 16, I studied really hard for my O-levels with a really clear goal to get into international business in poly. It wasn't easy, and I wasn't sure if I'd make it, but I hit the exact score that I had written down. And choosing business felt very natural, because as a kid, I loved playing cashier. I loved selling things with my neighbors, and I remember there was one period I was even selling sweet drinks in my neighborhood. And then later on in secondary school, I was selling squishes during that whole trendy era. I enjoyed the idea of making and selling things. Yeah, so business felt very natural for me. But reality hit during my first internship at a big corporation. I sat at a desk from 9 to 6, even when there was absolutely nothing to do. My favorite place was the pantry, where I would go to refill my snacks and my drinks, just so that I wouldn't fall asleep. The whole rigid structure made no sense to me. I missed the freedom I had in school, where I could skip lectures and manage my own time. This routine drained me, and my mental health took a hit. By the time the internship ended, I knew one thing for sure. I didn't want to spend my life in a corporate job. And if that was the case, what would be the point of studying a business degree? Choosing corporate wasn't for me, left me at a crossroads. I had never considered anything else before, so I started to look inwards. And after some reflection, I landed on design, specifically design thinking and innovation. It wasn't really a choice I made with 100% confidence, because I had never studied arts or design before, but it felt right. I enrolled into NAFA, Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts in Singapore, and specialized in jewelry and object design. Those 3 years were some of the most fulfilling time of my life. Though it was a design course, I realized that I enjoyed making things with my hands with a slower process. And that shaped some of the decisions I made in my life. By the time I graduated from NAFA, I had 2 diplomas, and the next logical step would have been to get a degree, right? But I wasn't convinced. I believed I could learn without being in school, and I also didn't want to spend more time and money in a structured program. Instead, I made one of the biggest decisions in my life. I bought a one-way ticket to Europe and solo traveled for half a year. I had never been to Europe before, so it was terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. And there's so much I want to share about this. Like, how did I prepare myself for this big trip? Why I wanted to solo travel? How did I budget? How did I save up? What's my travel experience like? People I've met. Okay, there's so much I want to share about this that I should just put it in another video. Oh, anyway, when I returned from Europe, I worked at a part-time marketing job while taking on a ceramics mentorship. I knew I didn't want to be tied down to a full-time job, so I juggled both. As I practiced ceramics, I knew I didn't want it to just be a hobby. I wanted to share my works, so I took a leap of faith and started selling my works at a local market before setting up my own website. Eventually, I quit my part-time job because even part-time work drained me. It took time away from what I truly wanted to do. Then I made another decision that seemed rather impulsive, but it had been in my heart for a long time. I wanted to live overseas, not as a traveler, but as a local. And in Singapore, it's quite rare to move out before marriage, and also because rent is just crazy expensive here. So I went to Taiwan for 3 months, renting my own room for the first time in my life. Oh, well, I wanted to stay longer, but visas made it really difficult without taking a full-time job. So I came back and decided to focus on ceramics. And that's where I am right now. I'm still figuring things out, and I always will be. But here's what I know so far. Number 1, no decision is permanent. At 16, I thought business was my future. At 20, I thought design was my path. At 23, I thought I had to figure everything out before I turned 25. Now I realize that life is fluid. You don't have to get it right the first time. Number 2, your intuition is worth listening to. There is the head and there is the heart. The head helps me to consider rationally, and the heart tells me what I truly want. Personally, it's hard for me to betray my heart, which leaves me a rationally thought out emotional decision, if that makes sense. Every time I make a decision, I don't have full certainty, but deep down I knew what felt aligned and what didn't. Following that feeling led me to places I never expected. Number 3, success isn't just about achievements. I used to think my 20s were my prime, that I had to achieve everything before my 30s. I wanted to be a successful entrepreneur, and I still do to this day. But I also see life as a series of evolving possibilities. Something about the word possibilities is so liberating that it makes fixed goals seem limiting. Anyway, there are many things that are important in life that are not achievement-based, such as spending time with our loved ones. I know it sounds like, but really, at the end of life, think about what would truly matter to you. With this foresight, you can make choices that would align with you. Living a life filled with joy and love is rather successful to me. Number 4, it's okay to take an unconventional path. Many people question my choices, and sometimes I doubted myself too. But looking back, I don't regret choosing freedom and fulfillment over stability. If you're scared to take a different path, that's normal. I totally understand it. It's never easy going against where everyone is going. But if something is calling to you, I think it's worth exploring. My personal take is don't live what ifs. What if I had taken a step of faith to do this? Would my life turn out differently? Don't leave space for that regret. So where does that leave me now? Honestly, I'm still figuring things out. My ceramics business isn't stable yet, and I'm looking for more income sources. But turning 25 doesn't feel like a crisis. It feels like a milestone. I used to pressure myself to achieve everything in my 20s, but I'm learning to take a broader view of life. There's more to explore, more to learn, and more importantly, more to unlearn. I want to live a conscious life. I want to work hard towards things that truly matter, and this itself has been my life exploration, to find what truly matters. And if any part of this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts, be it in the comments below or on IGDM. Have you ever questioned the path you're on? In my future videos, I would like to dive deeper into my solo travel experiences. I actually traveled a little bit before I did my big solo trip, and I want to share more about that. Why I wanted the solo travel, how I budgeted, people I've met, tips, maybe some encouragement. And if you think that's interesting, I hope you stick around. Love, then